Microsoft Excel 2021, Chapter 1, Blue Box 4. To document a worksheet using a documentation worksheet is the goal of this particular assignment. You'll notice that while we may have good column headings and row headings, a good worksheet will include information about how it has been modified, who the authors are, and that kind of information can be noted in the documentation worksheet. You'll notice in this workbook that you have, we do in fact have a documentation worksheet, which will allow us the ability to demonstrate those best practices. So what we're going to do is we are going to move over and begin the documentation that is asked part of this assignment. A quick note about Microsoft, Pearson, MyLab, and Grader projects. Sometimes students will find that they come from a country who write their dates differently than the United States. So the standard convention that you'll see is that we do our month followed by the day. That can be ambiguous. So for example, in this assignment, you're asked to type in the date May 10th, 2025 in A8. So I will go ahead and do that. May 10th, 2025. Excel stores dates as numbers, and so it's important that we point back to the correct number. If your computer happened to be set up and is utilizing another country's settings, then that country might look at that and think that this date is October 5th. Numerically, May 10th and October 5th are two different days, and so they would be assigned two different numbers. This is also referred to as the short date, where we do month, day, year. And so within the Pearson Grader project, it's important that we type the date and we utilize the short date if that's what the assignment calls for. So what if you were from another country and you write May 10th as 10/5/2025, then, and your computer is set up that way, then that's exactly what you'd want to type here. You'd want to type 10/5/2025. If you're an American, you can ignore everything I just said, and our dates will always reflect month, day, year, and your computer will be set up to understand that, and you will type it exactly the way the assignment calls for. So here we have May 10th, 2025. I'm going to hit the Tab key. Now also in the Macintosh's default way of showing the short date is to show it as 25, not 2025 for the year. While you may watch videos or see in the book that it's suggesting that you should type in 2025, which is perfectly fine, leave the display alone. Leave it as the way in which the short date is displaying, so that Microsoft Excel will pass to Pearson that you are using short date style in the dates that you use. So it's okay that you only see 25, but the book will show screenshots or videos of 2025 in their cells. Don't try to outsmart Excel and MyLab. Just leave it as the default version of the short date when that's what's called for, and make sure that your computer is going to communicate the correct day for that date. You're then asked to type into cell B8 your name in first name, last name format. So I will type in my first name and last name, and I will go ahead and hit Tab again. So now we know when I modified the file, and then I need to describe what the modification was. So we will type added, capital A note. That was the spaces. I only capitalized the A and added. To a key heading, on the, now, it is very common historically to name things on computers without using spaces. And so you'll notice that our worksheet name, while it can accept names with spaces in it, historically, spaces were special characters reserved for other purposes within computer coding language. Therefore, historically, the way in which we would refer to multiple words without using space is to capitalize the first letter of each word. And you can see that this assignment is continuing with that tradition. So even though grammatically I'm doing added a note to a key heading on the, when I get to the name of the worksheet, make sure we type it as food purchases, as if it's just one word, capitalizing the F and the P, and then finish with worksheet. So added a note to a key heading on the food purchases, all one word, worksheet, and you're here asked to hit enter. This is now going to allow the reader, the next reader, could be you later at some future date. It could be somebody else working with the same worksheet, to understand what happened on this May 10th, 2025. At this point, it's always good practice, whether you're using the OneDrive or not, to make sure that the work that you have done is saved. And yet again, I will remind you that you should look and make sure that the worksheet here that I have looks similar to yours. The only difference that you will find is it is fine that your name is in the cell that says by whom, but everything else should look identical to the worksheet that you see here.